Hello. If you're watching this video, it's because you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, or sometimes you, like me maybe, are driving back home and think, what would happen if I just kept driving, took myself off to a cafe to enjoy some quiet time instead of just dealing with all that ruckus? And if you feel that way sometimes, hey, guess what? We all do. It's normal. But I want to give you three instant ways to make coming home from work or getting off your computer these days more enjoyable. Number one, sprinkle gems. What are gems? They're genuine encounter moments. And what that means, it's not the quality time that you've preset in advance. It's simply responding to bids of attention. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to the supermarket or the grocery store to get some things for your dinner. And you've got your 4-year-old with you. And as you get out of the car, there's a plane that's flying overhead. And your 4-year-old says, Daddy, Daddy, look, it's a plane. Now, here's the scenario. In a lot of cases, when we have a lot on our mind and we're thinking two steps ahead because we're trying to meet our schedule needs, we're not going to make the time to stop and reach down and look up with wonder as our child is doing and say, wow, yeah, look at that plane. I wonder where it's going. But that is exactly what I'm asking you to do. That is a genuine encounter moment. It takes seconds for you to say, oh, essentially what you're saying is, I see that you're bidding for my attention. I'm going to give you that attention in the time that you've asked for it, and then we can move on. And what you're effectively doing is you're building up their love tank. And so they won't need to misbehave as much to get that negative attention from you. So sprinkle the gems. You can do as many gems as you can afford emotionally and energetically during the time that you have at home. But that does not mean that you need to sit for hours and hours and be focused on them and give them all that quality time. Those little gems count for a lot. The second thing I want you to think about is to grow the good. And what that means very simply is what we focus on will grow. I am sure that your child is not all bad. Take a look and rewire your brain and ask your brain very simply, what are some of the things that my kid is doing well? I'll give you another example. I have three kids, 8, 7, and 1. The 8 and 7 act like they are frenemies, well, mostly enemies. Anyway, so when I see them playing together peacefully, I'll say something like, hey, I really love how the two of you are playing Connect 4 together so nicely. By focusing on observing out loud in a positive manner the things that they are doing well, we are offsetting all of that criticism and all of our bids for them to change other behaviors. And if you've done any kind of inner work, you know that to change or to counteract the effect of one negative comment, you actually need 5 positive comments. So if you work on growing the good, it'll make a huge difference for them and for you and the relationship. Finally, I want you to change the narrative. Inside all of our heads is this little monster that likes to make judgments about what our children are doing and what we think that they're planning and that they're being manipulative, etc., etc. But simplify it. When your child is not doing something or is doing something you don't like, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I can teach them to help them grow? It's not that they won't do what you want or are asking for, it's that they can't. I'll give you an example. If my child is saying to me, I don't want to brush my teeth, my first thought needs to be, what is it that's preventing him from doing it? Is he overtired? Is it that he doesn't like the taste of the toothpaste? Some children have sensory needs. Is it that the toothbrush is a little too irritating? So I found out with our son that he didn't want to use the electric toothbrush because he found it abrasive, but he was perfectly happy to use the normal toothbrush. So it's not that they won't, it's that they can't. Three things: sprinkle gems, grow the good, and change the narrative. They will change instantly the way you feel about your family life.